This is the regular meeting of the East Haddon Conservation Commission. We'll go around and do the roll. I will be taking notes, so we may be a little slow.
John Olin.
David Walls.
Barry Bernard.
Bernie Gillis.
And we have some guests.
I'll start. Ralph Chappell, East Haddon Land Trust.
Gotcha. Aiden Bahilo, resident.
Nancy Corral, ox owner.
Okay. All right, there won't be any necessity to do a point. Well, there will be. Ellen's outside. So who's the alternate? David, are you?
It'd be me.
Okay. You're going to be Alan then. That's here. And we have Pat.
Perfect time for this.
Okay. Approval of the agenda. I'd like a motion to move public comment up after we approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to move the public comment to the beginning of the meeting.
Second.
Anybody opposed? Okay. So the minutes I sent out, I made the changes that everyone sent to Ruth or to me. Anybody have any additional changes from what I sent out in that email?
No.
Motion to approve?
I'll second that.
Okay. So, Nancy,
Yes.
you would like to discuss what your ox can do. Why don't you come up here? I don't know that
It should work.
well, all right, well, or at least come up next to Pat, just to see that your voice can be heard. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult on the Zoom, wherever.
Joe, may I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to mention that we had the pleasure of meeting Nancy at Riverfest about 2 weeks ago. And with her ox,
Yes.
Red,
Red,
young Red.
young.
And so we, Bernie and Joe and I thought that it would be appropriate to invite Nancy to come to our meeting to let us know what she does and for her to learn a little bit about what we do as the Conservation Commission and where our interests might be.
Okay. Well, I have he's 8 months old now, a red Holstein named Red. And Red needs work. Red is really good at getting into small places. And Red needs to learn how to log. And in order to do that, he can start with trails and trail building. He needs to know how to back into brush. Somebody wraps a chain around the brush and off we go. In a nutshell, it's reasonably simple. Red has some really interesting qualifications. The first one is that he's a magnet for volunteers. If people know we're showing up, then there's lots of volunteers. And the second thing is he has cloven hoofs, so he does not make a mess of the topography. He sits on top of it. If he's in the mud, he'll sink in a little bit, but unlike a horse that has a solid hoof, his hoofs don't get sucked into the ground. He can go just about any place. And because he's small and there's only one of him, he can make trails and fit down trails and pull logs out. He's getting very adept at moving sideways and backwards in order to pull out something without making a mess of whatever brush or existing bushes, shrubbery are there.
Now, I thought you told me that you like to work with those in teams.
Well,
He can work alone?
Red works by himself.
Okay.
There are teams out there, most people have teams, and most people don't think much of Reds. Red's called a poor man's ox because he's not a team. But when you don't have a team, that means that ox can get into smaller places.
Mm.
Because if you have a team, you have to have two together, and most teams be quite large. And then you lose that ability to get single trails, with a path.
Yeah.
If you have a team.
And tell us about what you did with the Middlesex Land Trust.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. At that point, I had a very large team, and we used what's known as a scoop shovel, which sort of looks like a wheelbarrow. And the guys took turns. They dug it into the ground, and the oxen pull it forward. And then when you're done scooping up whatever, you push down on the handles, and then the oxen drag it up to wherever you're dumping whatever you scoop. And that's how we built a trail around a farmer's field because he was getting cranky. People were cutting across his field, ruining his hay. So we built a trail around John, I don't remember his name, from the Asnuntuck, Chantel Foster's old group.
Yeah. It's Nantucket, yeah.
He was part of the scoopers, and because he worked hard, he got to ride in the shovel back to the trailer.
What were you scooping out? Stumps or?
Just loose gravel, or we made loose gravel. At one point, somebody had to go ahead with a mat with something and kind of dig out where it was really too hard to scoop with enough so we could scoop it out
Yeah.
to make a reasonably level path
Yeah.
for people to walk on.
How deep did you go?
4 inches maybe. Yeah, we just basically cleared off the surface enough. In the old days, people used scoop shovels to build ponds instead of bulldozers. That's how you would build a pond, and you would either have a team of horses or a team of oxen. But if you're in the water, the horses didn't work. You had to have oxen because they get stuck in the mud.
If we had to build a switchback down a hill, do they work good on slope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oxen don't care.
Yeah.
So if this was the Oregon Trail, they would lower the wagons backward down
Oh, really?
as opposed to the wagon pushing them down the hill.
And then
They
back
would
down?
lower the wagon backward.
Wow.
And switchbacks is how most of the fancy loggers in the Berkshires work. Because you can't go down, you have to kind of go side by side, and that requires teaching your ox to get the logs straight and then to make it zigzag without digging out whatever the path surface is. And we have a cone for that, so that if you get your log into the cone, then the cone slides along and the log doesn't dig up the ground.
So the cone has an eye on it or something, and
It's got a hole in the front, and you just feed a chain through. So you hook the chain up to your log, stuff it through the cone, and then hook it up to the
Oh, I
ox,
see.
and off you go.
and what's the length of the logs that you haul usually?
Well, it depends on how big your animals are.
Yeah.
Like Red's just a little guy, so if he can do 100, 150 pounds, and he can keep that up all day long.
Yeah.
If I had a big team that weighed 3,000 pounds each, well, then they can take a ton out and not think much about it.
Yeah. Interesting.
And conversely, Red or Oxen team could bring materials in
Yes.
to a place, if that, because we often find ourselves walking long distances with planks.
Yes, exactly. So we have actually an ice fishing sled, and I load that up with, the chainsaw and whatever tools we need, and off we go. But I've seen on some preserves where they actually had to drag in stones, which, we just put it in the sled, or actually we come up with a logging skid or a sled of, I have one that's out of oak that's probably 2.5 feet wide, and we could just load up the rocks with that and then drag it in.
Interesting.
So you don't have to carry it. Cuts down on manpower.
Yeah.
You know, people, I find volunteers drop like flies when they really have to work.
You've noticed,
Keep them happy.
you've noticed that.
I noticed that.
Yeah, do we have to feed this guy? What's he eat?
Hey, he does like blueberry muffins,
Okay,
but he didn't get many of those.
good to know.
Maybe we can get Charlotte to donate.
There you go. Charlotte's our baker.
One of the things that the Conservation Commission is, its mission is to reach out to the community, to publicize our trail network, our open space network, and also to bring new people in. You told us a story at Riverfest about a project in New Haven, I think it was, that worked with schools, and they actually milled the lumber that they
Yes.
logged.
That was a really fun project. So it was a Yale University project, and Yale decided that they had 3 acres that they wanted to log. So Yale always does things big, I've learned.
This is Yale in Salem, East Lyme.
Yale in Easton,
Oh,
somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
okay. You brought him all the way down there.
So there were five Teamsters and 5 teams, and they had pre-cut a selection of trees on this area that they wanted to carefully log, and we used the teams to drag the logs out. Somebody was there with a wood miser, is that what you call it?
Yeah, wood miser, yeah.
And they cut the logs into boards, and there's a bunch of 10-year-old boys, and they all carried their boards out, and then somebody in the end helped them build birdhouses. Now, Yale, of course, provided lunch, which I'm sure the 10-year-old boys loved.
Yeah.
But it was a win-win for everybody. They probably had 50 people who came just to see what was going on, and some of those people got drafted to carry boards.
This was a one-day event,
When was it?
one-day
It
event?
was a one-day event, and they haven't repeated it since then.
Yeah, wow.
Did they publicize that in their newsletters or?
I don't know how they did it. I know they only had room for 5 trailers, and that was a limiting factor.
I mean, afterwards, did this event appear in any of the magazines?
It must have, because they had a professional photographer. This is Yale. But,
Yeah.
there were some really great photos,
Cool.
and it was just it was a fun day. Everybody had a good time. The weather was great. The animals were of assorted sizes, so you could see an animal that's 5 years old and what he could drag, and how they could go in between the rocks and switch it around and bounce it off of trees to make the path that they needed to get out. And then by the time everybody was done, you couldn't tell that they had logged it out. It just looked like there was lots of space, lots of light in there now.
And you like to work in the winter when
It's
it's,
easiest because there's no leaves to obscure things.
yeah, okay.
And the ground is probably more solid too.
It doesn't need to be frozen or anything.
No, that doesn't matter. I think it kind of depends on what you want us to do. If you want us to build a trail, the ground would preferably not be frozen, because you want to grub out the crown of the spindly plants or whatever you
Yeah,
need to get rid of in order to build the trail.
What about wetlands? Have you ever, is that an issue if you are working in terrain that's more soft or wet?
I like dry feet, but Red doesn't care.
Hmm.
So if I need to wear tall boots, I just need to know ahead of time. Red'll do what he's told. That's Red's job. He doesn't get to think independently.
And do you actually control him, if that's the right word? I mean,
Yeah, he has to do what I tell him.
Yeah.
That he
Yeah.
and he gets it. Yeah, he's not allowed to wander. When I tell him to stay, he has to stay. And it's important because he needs to stand here, because I have to go behind him to hook up to whatever we're dragging. And then I come next to him and we go forward. And if we're dragging a log, I go in front of him to make sure He understands where he has to go. So when I stop, he stops. That's really critical. There's a few skills he has to know. Stopping is huge. He needs to know how to back in sideways in any direction.
Yeah.
And he has to not mind the brush on his legs. And he needs to stay, when I tell him to stay, he needs to stay there and not move.
Mhm.
And he's pretty good for about 20 minutes. That's about his limit.
Nancy, have you taught many oxen these tricks? If you will?
Well,
Have you been,
I try.
have you been in this business for quite a while?
I've been doing this, 20 some years?
John, she had a team of 2 oxen that stood how tall? I mean,
Oh, that's right. You were there when we did that parade in Portland.
wherever that was, yeah.
It's impressive.
What were their names?
That was rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
It looks kind of red.
He's a red Holstein. He
Oh,
was
okay.
partnered with a black Holstein, but the black Holstein was really not suitable. He didn't want to do anything I said. So after 3 months of fighting with him, I sold him, and Red is by himself. And he doesn't seem to mind it.
Other comments, questions?
We want to open up the conversation to,
Please ask questions. I don't want you to think I can deliver something I can't.
Well, I think more of the question right now is,
I'm sorry?
He's neutered, right?
Oh, yes. In about a month, he got neutered.
Yeah.
He's an it, officially.
the question right now is more, we had a land management plan where we had already designated some areas that we're gonna log. But it doesn't quite work that way because it has to go through land use. And we don't have a land
This is a
management
town
plan.
organization. It's not
Yeah,
the
we're-
land trust that can
Right.
like,
But it's intriguing if we needed to build a bridge down, I'm thinking Devil's Hop Yard and through there if the state ever gets around to approving those. Those
yeah,
would be
that's one of the ones on the
hauling
list, yeah.
some stuff in there, but I don't know when that would be.
We do a lot of work with 16-foot 3x8s, and it would be nice not to carry them on.
Do we have any idea when that might get the go-ahead? It's
The
still,
rules of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection are unknowable.
Well, another thing I was thinking about was possibly building some kind of a bridge. And this would, we could use those swamp feet that Cam used in the platform across the Kronberg wetlands property. We'd have to go through wetlands for that probably, but I wanted to scope that out and see what the possibilities were there. Other than that, I was thinking of stuff that's in the woods. We have a piece of property that has a shed on it that we need to pull out in pieces. And I don't know if it's a real steep terrain too. Uphill. But
Well, we'll try, and if it works, great. If it doesn't work,
yeah,
nothing ventured, nothing gained.
yeah.
But we're willing to try.
And we had a couple of vehicles in the woods that I don't know if he could haul a vehicle or not.
Well, he's only 550 pounds
Yeah.
at the moment. But
Yeah,
if he gains 2 pounds a day in a year, when you're ready,
well,
when you're ready.
you also have to realize that some of these vehicles are mostly rust now, so that may not be a problem.
one of them's an army trailer that's on one of our properties. It's got wheels on it, but
Well, we'll try.
yeah, and there's is access to a woods road, so it might be feasible. But those were some of the things I was thinking about in my head.
and that might not be, those hauling the shed or the truck, that might not need to go through a long process of approvals.
I don't think we'll be.
No, I think that would be within our purview.
Yeah, we'd be able to do that. That's cleaning up the property, yeah.
From what I understand from Linda, the biggest thing about logging on our properties would be somebody's gotta be insured. And somebody, a professional forester has to identify the trees. So now you're talking about hiring people, making sure that they have the appropriate insurance, going through the town lawyers, and hauling a wagon out of the woods is entirely within our purview. The rest,
Well,
Not
and,
so.
and it makes sense. This is a litigious age. Everybody wants to sue everybody else. So, having insurance is a big deal. And it takes a while to grow those trees. And you don't want to take them out if you don't have to.
all right, any other questions? Well,
That was a pretty good description of what red can do.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I may. How much will Red be able to haul in a year if he keeps up that 2 pounds a day growth? Your guess?
In theory, he can haul half his weight.
Half his weight. Okay, so he'll be close to 1,000 pounds then.
Well, he should be mature in about 4 years. And he probably will weigh about 3,400 pounds. So he can pull just about anything.
But right now, you're saying he's about 150 or so.
150, yeah, probably.
Because he weighs 300 now.
He's not real big now.
I'm just thinking, an oak log, what it weighs, 12-inch log, every foot is 46 pounds.
But if you cut it short and we put a cone on it, then it's not digging into the ground, creating more drag. Then it just slides across.
Right.
And that's easier for him. It's all about ease.
So once it's moving, then the kinetic energy is released and he's
It just keeps going.
not going.
See, a team of horses, in order to move that log, has to leap into that to get enough energy to get it to go. Whereas an ox just leans into it and drags it, and he keeps the tension on it until you tell him to back up. That's just something he does.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, I guess the next thing is to talk about projects.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then get in touch and see if we can work something out.
Terrific. That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Get the ball rolling.
So Nancy's from the Cranberry Meadow Farm in
East
East
Lyme.
Lyme, off of what road?
It's off of Grassy Hill Road,
Grassy Hill.
just down by south of Salem.
Okay. Those are all, it's the neighborhood.
It's the neighborhood. It's a fun neighborhood. I've got interesting neighbors, but they all use horses.
Okay.
So much.
Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Do we have any other presentations for the public or just, okay. All right, chairs updates. Linda has posted for a hire to replace Ruth. And hopefully that person, in addition to their duties with the town, would also want to take minutes in the meantime. It's up to me. And my first job as the new admin is to make sure Kathleen gets the schedule of meetings. Everybody okay with continuing the
Yeah.
first Tuesday except for election day next year?
Except for election day. Oh, yeah,
Next year, we'll just do it the
yeah,
second,
that's a big one, yeah.
the second Tuesday. All right, I will get this to Linda and Kathleen. All right, and those are the only two things I had under chair updates. Ernie, you're up. Stewardship.
Okay, this month, let's see, went to Moodus Woods, Robbie Road. That was Barry called out tree down there, and white and orange. I covered that. Rose Farm, another tree, trail. That was Barry also. Robbie Road, I removed a mower deck from a ride-on lawnmower. that somebody dumped on the property and took that to the transfer station.
I thought maybe you had left it there or something, that's why I didn't mention that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Did you?
Was it along the roadside or on a trail?
It was just in back of where the parking lot is.
Hmm.
Your parking lot, yeah.
That little woods trail that goes from the parking lot to the trailhead was right alongside there.
You didn't tell me about that, huh?
I thought it was somebody, it belonged to somebody, cause it wasn't really on the trail, it was just a.
Like anybody. Let's see, hatch, 2x8x12s. What was that? Hatch. Oh yeah, I built small bridge, footbridge over one of the wet areas on the green trail at Hatch. Let's see, a tree at Lena that Cam reported, a tree at Petrel that Alan reported, and a tree at Hatch that Barry reported. Nichols Field, there were two dangerous trees that were over the trail, and I took care of those. That was the blue trail. Alan reported another tree at Sabine on the red trail. And Susan reported a tree on the white trail at Chagru, took care of that. And Urbanic, finally got to that. And there were two more trees that needed to be cleared. And Alan reported a tree at Harris on the blue trail. And today I got out to Petrel. The ADA trail had a dead tree across it. So the trees are falling.
You just watch TV all month? I mean, how can you do so little and then
You do.
nothing
They
new.
must be doing
nothing-
something wrong. They're all falling across the trail, not the other way.
I was walking up Urbanic the other day, and I tell you what, there's a lot of dead trees that are leaning towards the trail. So we have plenty of business ahead of us.
All right, thanks, Bernie. Outreach and promotion. The article that I wrote on hiking apps is still pending with all of the election stuff in the East Haddam News. I told him it's no big deal when he's finished with that, so I presume it'll be out next week or the week after. And if anyone wants to write another article on anything that they think is timely, let's do it. Winter hiking. Sledding on our trails, I don't know.
Saw my
Whatever's-
first lantern fly up at Gillette's Castle.
Had one land on me yesterday.
What happened?
Had one land on me yesterday
Did you? Land on you? Where were you?
in my backyard.
Oh, yeah.
I made sure I killed that. That's bad, not good. That's not good, because hit one, there's many more. I saw a bunch down by Sabine, down on the dirt road there, past the end of the preserve,
Is that right?
right down where Cone dumps all the
Yeah,
debris and
yeah, yeah.
and manure and stuff down there. There was a couple of tree havens there. I went over there and it was just full of lanternflies. Just started smacking them with a stick, and there was a mess of them there.
And I'll leave Riverfest for 8 Mile. Okay,
Oh,
we'll leave that for when we get to 8 Mile updates.
oh, okay.
All right, John, resilience.
Resilience, climate resilience. I guess the big news is the town is going to apply for a deep climate resilience grant to address the flooding problem at the rehearsal hall, and it'll go towards paying for a design of the open channel, the removal of the hall, and then the open channel that will facilitate Sucker Brook and keep it from overtopping Norwich Road. We just got the application. It's due in the middle of January. So I don't know exactly, what we're going to, how we're gonna decide whether the amount of funds that we get, I'm not sure exactly what it's gonna be. It may be, $600,000, something like that, I think was mentioned, for this design phase, using the same firm that did the Sucker Brook overall conceptual study, Kleinfelter. But whether that's going to also include the widening of the Creamery Road culvert to reduce flooding there, we're gonna have to work this out. There's going to be a meeting with Goodspeed and the town and Circa on the 10th as we go through the changing of the guard here in the municipal building in our government. I guess that's all I really need to say, except that these negotiations are with Goodspeed have brought in the redevelopment agency to look at some of the properties in the village, including the old Chevy garage and the municipal lot, which is now being discussed by the redevelopment agency. This isn't really necessarily Conservation Commission business, but it does involve the Sucker Brook project. The village we're at a very historic moment in this town in terms of dealing with the impact of more severe weather, in particular rainfall, but also the long-standing questions about what to do with the municipal lot in the village and other buildings that are vacant. It does involve environmental issues because the Chevy building is in the floodplain there, and we're expecting, as our report in June showed, about a 20-inch sea level rise or river rise, which is going to affect the wastewater treatment plant and anything that happens down in there in terms of recently. Cora Brunel was talking about a walkway down in that lower floodplain as part of this whole redevelopment project. So, and then to make it even a little more spicy, Harvard University has gotten involved. Harvard Law School has sent, has been working with the people on the advisory board for the Sucker Brook project and with it's a negotiation project that they have at the Harvard Law School, and they're taking all this input from different stakeholders of how we're going to resolve the differences in what should be done with the municipal lot, the Sucker Brook area, actor housing, the actor rehearsal hall, Goodspeed's properties there, the Chevy building and the adjoining building, number 10. A lot of this is going to be hashed out at this meeting on the 10th. Our land administrator, has very strong ideas about the town's role, and so that's good. So that's all I'm going to say. I do want to add something about the 8 Mile project that we have at that time.
What was the amount of the grant they
So
requested?
the 8 Mile grant, yes, I can.
No, the grant.
The deep grant. It's called
No, what's it, how much?
He said
well,
600,000.
that's the figure I've seen.
Around 600?
600,000.
Around 600K.
But I don't know if that's gonna,
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
John? When you meet with these people on the 10th,
Yes.
can you bring up the issue of the debris management of the Sucker Brook? Trees and stuff that have fallen into Sucker Brook and
Yeah,
how that's problematic and
yeah,
how they plan on addressing that.
in Trouble Pond in particular, just upstream from the rehearsal hall.
I just want you to bring that up at the meeting.
Okay, yeah, well, you know, what I'm told is that it would require shutting down the state road. So it's a DOT issue to bring a crane in to take those trees out of Trouble Pond.
They shut it down when they put those two bridges in. Probably for
Yeah,
much longer
yeah.
time.
I'll see if I can get a word on that.
Just bring that up, yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
okay.
You want to talk about the 8 Mile grant?
Well, should I talk about the 8 Mile grant, in the 8 Mile section, or it's not long. I mean, I do tend to go on, but.
Keep it for 4 minutes.
Okay, keep it, I'll do it 3 minutes.
Okay.
So, we're actually going to go back to the school. We were there in April with, the 8 Mile macroinvertebrate study with Pat Young and Shailene Dodi, the teacher. So we're going back on Friday the 14th, with a preliminary, presentation. I guess that's the, what do they call it, of the grant, that's the product, that's the first product of
Deliverable.
or deliverable, thank you. Thanks, Cameron. Essentially, it's going to be an interaction, it's going to be a digital presentation about natural history and observation in the field, and then we're going to go in the field and we're going to do the regular catching with the nets of the macroinvertebrates in the stream on the property of the middle school, Buell Creek. And then there'll be time for students to have some field observation experience where with the grant from the Conservation Commission, I purchased notebooks. I don't have a receipt for tonight, I forgot. But we have 5.5 by 8 blank notebooks, and we have 20 of them, and we have 20 8 and 11 by, 8-inch by 11-inch larger notebooks, and rulers and erasers, and they're going to supply the drawing equipment. And also, I think someone is purchasing some like stickers so the kids can identify their particular notebooks. And all of that comes under the $200 that was agreed to, and I'll bring those receipts in next meeting.
Questions for John? Okay, IWWC, David.
Yeah, nothing Conservation Commission related.
E&Z,
Same. We're just working on the Moodus redevelopment. But I could inform you that the old Cumberland Farms at the bottom of the hill, across from Dutch Oil, Dutch Gas, is coming before us.
there's contamination down there, right?
No,
No, there's no remediation
all been
necessary?
cleaned up. Yeah.
Okay.
What happened to the meeting that was supposed to be there last week about that?
They didn't send out their registered mail in time.
So it was in the paper the week before.
So they had to reschedule that, and that's gonna be in December now. I don't
What's
think,
what's the type of gas there, what's the name of the gas station?
gas station, yeah,
What's the name of it? What's gonna be the brand?
BP, yeah. And it's gonna have a drive-through, or they want a drive-through window.
Is it for Dunkin'?
It's a small food establishment.
That's for Dunkin' Donuts. That's for future
Yeah,
Dunkin' Donuts.
there was no mention of Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. I've got posted.
You get a craving, it's probably closer.
That's closer.
Can I ask a question? So BP is coming to town?
Yeah, but that's
Alright.
what they're planning on.
Um,
This is an application before planning and zoning
okay,
to reestablish a gas station there with a food mart and a drive-through window. That's what they want.
They got a long way to go to do anything in East Haddam.
The drive-through window does bring the possibility that they're considering some sort of chain, and I know that those haven't really fared well in East Haddam, and that it's not, you know, I mean, that there may be an extra layer there to consider.
What do you
It's
mean
sort of like-
chain?
It's like bringing in the Dollar General or bringing in, you know, a McDonald's or whatever. I mean, what is that drive-in window for? And is that an additional element of the application that ought to be considered? I mean, how does that affect the aesthetics and the feel of the Moose Village?
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if this is a Conservation Commission comment or not, but it seems to be. It's,
and the location is 149 and
Cross and Dutch, 149.
Bottom of the hill, that sharp corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know where you are?
Yeah.
Down the hill here?
I do.
Well, we allow drive-in windows.
for where?
Restaurant, food services, pharmacies, and banks. It's in our regulations,
You're
but it's,
talking aesthetics versus how fast can I get my coffee in the morning? I don't know.
but there are certain criteria that they have to meet as far as like length of stacking lanes and has to be on a state highway.
Certainly don't have much room there for a drive.
So if they wanted
Come to
to,
the meeting.
if they wanted to put in a McDonald's there as the thing that you drive through, would that be something that they would have the right to do?
They could apply for that, yeah. Then it would be a question of bringing it before the public and getting public input and
Public hearing?
They just tried to put a gas station in there though. They've been trying for a while.
it'll be middle of December, I believe, is scheduled public hearing.
Open space, there was no meeting. Jim is trying to come up with a date for the public meeting to approve the Spectre swap and the urban farm purchase. He tried to get it done before the election, didn't work, so now they're back to 2 weeks. Gotta go to the new Board of Finance, the new Board of Selectmen, 2-week notice to the public, meeting for the approval. So we're probably looking close to the beginning of January. I'm sorry, December.
Probably into January.
How soon after the election do the new board members get sworn in?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And I talked to her tonight. I said, you have a 2-week reprieve? She said, well, not really. But yeah, she has to prepare everything for them for 2 weeks.
But they participated in town business during that period.
It's their introduction to government.
8 Mile.
Well, we had our River Fest. and it was very successful. I think Pat said we made $700 in tips or something like that. Jim did a great job on the food, and there was plenty of cider and cookies, and we met Red. Nancy brought her ox to the show, and it was a big hit. There was music and lots of vendors, environmentally focused, and we'll do it all again in 2 more years.
Well, it seemed like it was better attended this time, but the weather was also better
Yeah.
than last year.
Yeah, real good day, and
We made contact with that group that does a state map of all the open space and, I was gonna, and I didn't really follow up on this, so.
I didn't have any time to like really funnel around and visit everybody.
Do you remember what I'm talking about, Bernie? That,
No,
because you thought that it would be interesting if our maps would be on their service.
oh, you mean the trail, help me out.
Yeah.
Trail, the state
State
Trail
Trail-
Finder, Connecticut Trail Finder.
Trail Finder,
Yeah.
yeah. Kim
I
Bradley,
have that contact. I can
yeah.
see if we want to do that.
Right now, we're working on the Goodwin Trail, getting that on there. And then
Okay.
what I'd like to do is, as we move forward, make applications for our properties. And see if we can get some of our, I know the Land Trust has quite a few on.
Not that many,
No, half a dozen?
maybe.
Yeah.
I think-
Because I had gone over the table, and then she came over to our table. Actually. One of the representatives from that group came over and talked with us.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, gave us the card.
What was her name?
I haven't looked at it since.
It wasn't Kim,
No, I don't think so.
one of her
It could have been. I'm not sure.
assistants, yeah. Okay.
Well, the odd thing is, all the trails are on All Trails and on Trail Forks. And so, you know, I don't know how many people are using the Connecticut trail maps, but a lot of people are using them on the apps that you can get out there for free. So, and we did have a couple of people who came through and took one of every paper map. But the majority of people came through and took a picture of the QR codes for East Haddam Land Trust and for what we have on our properties. And so, you know, I think it's probably worth still having some paper maps, but majority of people seem to say, no, I like it on my phone.
But it was
So-
nice when that one fellow came over to the big map and he pointed to where his house was, and actually it turned out that maybe in the future he's going to look into donating the fellow that adjoins the Hatch lot.
Oh, right, yeah.
Parker Road.
Um,
North of
David
Jay Brown's
or Robert?
property.
Yeah, south of Jay Brown, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty large parcel too, but he's not going anywhere. He said he's happy where he is right now, but yeah, that's something to consider down the road. And I'd just like to add that I think we need some better mapping for our properties in town. And I'd like to upgrade that. I'm gonna
In
talk.
terms of what, the big map that we have?
Yeah,
like on
people come
display?
over to our what do you call those things?
Janet?
Artist thing that you paint on.
The easel.
Oh, okay.
Easel, come
Right.
over to our easel and look at the map, and they're interested in
Yes.
where they are on it, and
Yeah, we have them
and
all
something with
separate.
good roads and
Yeah.
good identification of the
And
parcels.
some of the maps, Kim pointed out, were actually out of date that are on our,
Yeah,
yeah, there needs to be done.
so, yeah, we'll think about that next year.
Well, think about it for the spring, for the spring playing at Nakamuta's.
Yeah, well, Riley did those, Riley Doherty did those maps of Salmon River. I don't know if you've seen them, Salmon River and the 8 Mile,
Yeah.
big maps.
Did we,
Yeah.
everybody got sent?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think I can talk to her about maybe doing something for the Conservation Commission.
Okay. Anything else from 8 Mile?
No, I don't think so. It's pretty much took all the oxygen out of the room. We are funded though for next year, but that could change.
John, Alan's not here, but John, you told me apropos the letter, there was an
There was
extension.
that's all I know, is there was an extension and other towns were signing on to it.
And the state
So
rep
we-
is taking care of a form letter for everybody? Somebody was taking care of a form letter.
What's the subject here?
So the subject is the Gateway Commission,
Okay,
which was
the power line,
drafting
the power
the
lines.
power lines and the possibility of having a public hearing over the power lines that cross the river just north of the bridge. And so they have, there's a lawyer, Keith Ainsworth. He's drafting a form letter from the Gateway to this board, the state, I forget what it's called.
Siting Council?
Yeah. That then will be shown to the town. I think this has been pushed ahead, so there's some time, and then we sign off on that.
So this will go to the new Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, I'm a little fuzzy on this, to tell you the truth. I think Alan said that that Irene signed off on it, but I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Because when I talked to Linda, she said Irene was not aware that there was any issue with the transmission lines. This was a couple of weeks ago, so maybe she's been contacted since,
Yeah.
but
She's,
she said there
Alan-
wasn't any correspondence.
Yeah. I think they're waiting for that letter, but my understanding from Alan is that Irene was okay with it. That it got brought to her attention.
Who's paying this attorney?
I think it's pro bono.
Oh,
He was on the Council of Environmental Quality, the CEQ. Forgot that happened, statewide.
CEQ.
Council on Environmental Quality. It's the
CEQ.
deep board that
Yeah.
has the final kind of say or recommendations on citing projects and so
I
forth.
talked to a few people from Eversource and they say that putting those cables under the water is very expensive and probably not something that's gonna happen. But if you wanna go ahead with this letter.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a hearing, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a gateway issue because of the view shed, having the lines under the river would make it less obstructive in terms of its natural beauty.
I think Alan said last month that Keith Ainsworth's position was that the original installation of them had been illegal. And so that there's some legal points he can take that might force them to put them underwater. Whether that will work or not, I don't know, but it's probably not as much of a Hail Mary pass as it might otherwise be if they'd done it right in the first place. Is it 100?
According to what-
60, 70, 80?
Tunneling is now, done routinely. The technology, as I understand it, when I went to the Gateway Commission meeting with Alan a month ago or so, that was mentioned. the technology is advanced from what it was in 1967 when they got the permission to put them up.
Existing gardens, we don't have any. Gary's still gonna be taking care of the trail, but
They went
I think everything is, everything is sort of asleep already. Nothing on,
Did you hear from Susan tonight or? No,
about the garden.
coming here.
The last I heard, she was going down to see grandkids in Tennessee.
Tennessee,
I don't know when
she's back now, but
she's back,
she's hiding.
probably catching up.
Oh, boy. Shit.
Nothing on reserve monitors.
I was looking forward to hearing from Ms. Sina, though.
I noticed that. I made a note to change it next time.
I did see that, yeah.
I asked Ms. Sina if she wanted to come tonight to listen about the oxen, and she said she is already on enough committees, and she did not think that she really wanted to come.
She had a book to read.
Well, they drafted her to be on the Haddam News Committee
Oh,
because she wrote a couple of articles for it. And they invited her and another woman who wrote to their monthly meeting. And then
couldn't say.
it was a put-up job
Couldn't
because
say
one of
no.
the members said, we need more women on the committee, all in favor of these two. Before they could say anything, they're on the committee. So anyway, we could probably use more reserve monitors right now. We have Barry, so it's not a crunch.
No, I'd like to thank you guys all for reporting on those trees and stuff. That's real helpful.
I don't believe some of the sizes of the ones that I drag off the trails.
Is that
I'll
right?
even let you know. I mean, I go out there with Roger Drenga and he said, "You're not gonna move that thing, are you?" I said, "I'm gonna give it a good try." And
You want me to buy you an axe or?
Or an ox.
I don't need to bring any tools out
No,
with me.
okay.
I bring my nippers, that's it.
I found a dog today at Harris.
Oh.
Yeah. Ran away from its owner. But we brought him back together, so it was all good.
All right, bills. We have one from Shagbark for $159.69. And it is mostly lumber and fuel stabilizer.
Oh, okay.
2x10s.
2x8s.
2x8.
Motion to pay the bills?
Hmm?
Can I do that since I bought it?
Can you do what?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
I was gonna say, yes, you can. I misunderstood it, that you wanted to pay it out of your
No,
pocket.
no.
Okay.
Second.
It's expensive. lumber.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Now, we have two things under discussion from commission members. Pam, why don't you go first?
The Land Trust, with the help of many of you here, built a wetlands viewing platform in our Golett Preserve, which is across the street from the senior center this past summer. That was phase one of a larger project, and when we applied to the Wetlands Commission to build that, we said this is part of a larger program, and once we're done, we're going to apply to the DEP for the funds to make a trail accessible to the disabled and the elderly from that platform to a spot directly across the street from the senior center. So this is not to our existing parking lot, it's to a spot right across the street from the senior center. And it will be expensive, which is why we need a state grant to do it. And as with grants for the acquisition of land, grant applications to DEEP's Recreational Trails Division require letters of support. And we're gathering those, and we have a fair number so far, but it would be very nice if we could also get a letter of support from this commission. And it would not be long. It would basically say, we like the idea of doing this. And I will tell you that providing additional providing additional opportunities for the disabled is a goal of the Connecticut statewide comprehensive outdoor recreation plan, sometimes called SCORP. And it is. And,
Where do you find this stuff?
fun stuff we get to read all day.
Are they the bad guys or the good guys?
And providing additional opportunities for the elderly and exploring them is a goal identified in the East Haddam Plan of Conservation and Development. And so I believe that this project would serve both of those goals, and whether the commission will write a short letter, and in fact, I can write it for Joe's signature if that works.
I think
Who are we sending this letter to?
It would be addressed to Kim Bradley, who's the Recreational Trails Director at DEEP, but it would be given to me to submit along with our application to Kim, which is due on December 18th.
Why did I think we already did this?
Because you did it for a different commission, you did it for planning and zoning.
Oh, okay. That's for that, yeah. And Youth and Family Services.
That too.
What exactly is the structure or?
Okay, so it's really not far. When you're at the viewing platform, you feel as if you're in the middle of nowhere, and it really does go out 110 feet into the middle of an amazing wetland. And when there's water out there, there are turtles and all sorts of wetland birds. It's absolutely
Why
fantastic.
don't we start at the senior center?
Well, I'm starting from the platform.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
He doesn't know where the platform is.
I'm getting there,
Okay,
Bernie.
okay,
Just keep, that's it.
Sorry.
Anyway, so you feel as if you're in the middle of nowhere. And now I say, but in fact, you're only 700 feet from the senior center. So if you follow an existing trail for about 265 feet, also kind of in the woods, although you're behind a guy's house who lives on Great Hillwood. And then you get to a little opening and it goes into a field. And there's a field right across the street from the senior center, which is part of the Golett Preserve. Most people don't know that, but it is. And you then sort of hook off of the existing trail, go straight through that field, and you're looking right across the street at the senior center. So at the roadside, there would be an asphalt apron, which would lead directly onto compacted stone dust surface trail. It would, in the field, you have to dig out about 13 inches, put down fabric, put down gravel, and then cover it with stone dust. On the existing field portion, we probably go down about 6 inches and just cover with stone dust and compact it all. In order to do this, you have to break through a stone wall that's there at the roadside. But doing that, you might be inviting ATV traffic, so we don't want that. So we're going to install a fence with what's called a kissing gate, which allows wheelchairs and walkers to pass, but not motorized vehicles. It's kind of cool, actually. It's like, I'm going to do it, it's like this, but now I'm going to do it sideways. So you've got a little beam like that goes like this, and you go in with your wheelchair. Then once you're in, you flip it that way, and you can roll right out the other side. And so the hope is to have a 700 to 750 foot, very flat, very well compacted stone dust trail available to the disabled and to seniors from the senior center, and to anyone else who wants to go out and enjoy the birds and the wetlands life from the platform.
Sounds like a great project.
through the wall to the track.
Well, we're not doing anything on the town side at the moment. The hope is that the town in due course would see the value of this trail and would want to knock through its own stone wall from the track and come right up to the roadside so that it would be across to our trail. But now we have the land, this is a land trust application, so we have no say as to what the town does on the other side of the street.
Wouldn't it be good to coordinate with the town?
Well, it would, and I think that in due course that will happen, but I
Okay.
think you do things in stages, just as we did the platform. You fight one battle at a time, and
Jim did mention when we did the walkthrough that putting the striped crosswalk in there and going through the wall would not really be that much effort. So as much as that's a, yeah, we'll
the
take care
intention
of
of pursuing that appropriate point in the future.
You know, and then for the seniors, you could actually, you don't even need to come out the driveway. You could go into the track and come up that way too. So you'd only go across, would never really be going up and down the road. And I think one of the things that was pointed out was that the rec trail, it seemed might feel safer than going around through the woods, which is a little bit longer,
Yeah.
and they're out of view, so they're a little more hesitant to do that.
And in addition, although to most of us, it might not seem that there are many variations in grade between our existing parking lot and the platform, there actually are ones that Brad Parker from the Senior Center identified as probably too challenging for some of the seniors who walk the trails. And so he agreed that the trail through the field is better from that perspective because it's pretty flat. And the one point I didn't mention before, which you were getting at, is that members of this commission, Joe and Bernie, met together with Brad Parker from the Senior Center and David Walls and I from the Land Trust and Jim Ventris. So we had quite a group walking this route, and I think everybody on there was on board.
So you would draft a letter along the lines that you sent around.
I'm sure this has been thought of. Is there a road crossing with stop signs?
Well, I don't think that the town would put in flashing lights for us, but the hope is that when we're done, they'll paint some lines on the street.
Signage,
Would they put up signage? I don't know.
if there's a crosswalk.
Yeah, I mean, stop for pedestrians in a crosswalk, state law or something like that.
Yeah, just a symbol, yeah.
Again, that's not our jurisdiction, but it certainly would be something we'd push for once the trail's done.
I'll make a motion that we
I'll second
craft a letter of approval for a trail grant from the Senior Center to the platform on GoLand.
Second.
What's your, what generated seconded, but what's your timeline?
Well, I mean, I could turn this around for you in a day or two, and if you can sign it soon, that would be great. I mean, the application is due December 18th, but I would like to submit it earlier than that.
So in order to make it official, we would need to vote tonight that we're going to sign your letter. Is that the intent of your motion?
It is.
Okay. All in favor of the motion? Anyone opposed? All right, now the second thing we're gonna talk about is, and I don't know we're gonna come to any decisions tonight, but it's clear that, you know, Salmon River is out of control. Hatch, we kind of did a pretty good job this year. We have, because of Gary, he's got the parking lot down there taken care of, but there's only so much we can do. Which preserves do we want to focus our work on going forward? And why? Because we got, you know, or is it just going to be catch as catch can? I mean, maybe we can't set priority preserves. I mean, we've sort of said, we just sort of need Hatch to grow up. Maybe it needs some maintenance stuff, but it's just going to have to develop into something that people are going to look at and go, yeah, remember when it used to be just mowed down pieces of wood? Do we want to put more effort into Salmon River? Right now, it's just a lot of weeding that will need to be done, some weed whacking. What's everybody think? Do we prioritize things, or do we just say we're gonna just, as things come up, as opportunities come up on a preserve, we'll just go ahead and have a work party do X?
One of the problems that comes to mind immediately is at Lefebvre. Remember, we had somebody complained that they tripped over a board or something that was a tree. I mean, if we don't, in a sense, we're responsible for all the preserves, and if there's an accident and they're not properly maintained, then people may complain, as they did, as I recall, in that incident. in the
I'm not,
Lefebvre.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, it was a couple of years ago. Somebody complained about tripping over, I think it was a bridge over the stream closest to the road as you came back. But and my point is, you know, if we let one preserve or several preserves just become unmanaged, there could be, you know, somebody could be injured or whatever.
My focus is to try to keep everything
Yeah,
clean and open.
I'm not sure maintenance is the issue, but for instance, when you think about a preserve that you want somebody to go to, like the movie people,
You want to make it
they
more.
want to go to something like Petrel where.
You want to make it more attractive. Yeah.
You want to make that more attractive. Salmon River, we did all that planting, it's like, it makes it more attractive. We talked about possibly moving a picnic table out there. You know, is there some place that we want to make more attractive to people? You cleaned up the picnic table and everything up at Hatch, we cleared out so you can actually see the chairs
Yeah.
and you got a view, you know.
We're going to try to keep that mowed next summer, or partially mowed.
Right, so is there something, let me put it this way, if there's something that anyone thinks we should focus on next spring, because, you know, technically, we're probably not gonna get out too much more. For a work party to make one of the preserves more attractive, that you then put into Events Magazine or East Haddam News and say, guys, go out and look.
Mm.
Look and see what's going on. This is your town doing this.
Yeah.
So if nobody's got any immediate ideas, we should probably think about it for the spring, about, you know, what we need to maintain for, like a catch will need to be maintained to make
Yeah.
it attractive, but what are we gonna put the effort into? Because we can't beautify everything.
I think there's a lot of effort that went into Hatch, and it's still going into Hatch.
Yeah.
Further to our discussion last month, I did send an email to the entire list of land trust volunteers and asked, would anybody else like to do Conservation Commission volunteering? And I think I got 3 positive responses, so it was worth a try.
Well, part of the answer to your question would be, I think, what's the usage? Is there one area that's really gets a lot of use? And then that would mean that we would give the proportional attention to it.
You know, from what I see, it's a little hard to tell. There are some people who consistently use Petrel, and they send in all of the notices, there's a tree down.
Yeah. Who was that couple that sent that? You can tell me after. Yeah.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
But, so does that mean that the public in general is using Petrel, or just the people that live right around there? I don't know. Do you have a feeling for which preserves are more used?
I have a feeling for the ones that get more use. Barry could probably weigh in on this also. The ones that get a lot of use or a deal of use, and the ones that don't get much use. And the ones that get use, I would think, and it's just speculation, that it's the locals that are familiar. They walk their dogs, and, you know, I run into these people from time to time, same people, you know, and it's their neighborhood, and that's, they use the trails. I mean, you know, the Robbie Road and you know, Hatch, not Hatch, yeah, a couple people at Hatch, yeah. You know, it's just certain ones, but some of them that don't get much use, things like Nichols, parts of Hatch, You know, you get good traffic through Roaring Brook. Lefebvre doesn't get much traffic. You know, it varies. But if, to your point, if you wanted to accentuate some and make things more attractive, then yeah, I would say, you know, benches, picnic tables. I have some thoughts. I'd like to put some kind of a bench halfway out on the Goodwin Trail, the wildlife management area, the border of that, halfway between Salem Road and Baker Lane. Maybe an oxen could drag it out there for me.
What about just like opening up some view, more better view areas, like Sabine? There's some nice trails, they kind of, you know, go around the backside of the reservoir.
Yeah, John and I talked about this years
I know,
ago.
we know the exact spot on the Red Trail. There's a perfect spot where there's some great white pines. We could, well.
And maybe
let's do it, Barry.
Opening,
We could do it.
you know, where people
Yeah.
can walk out there.
Yeah.
But we have the benches on the other trail over
Yeah.
there. But even in the summer, like that all fills in front, and it's really even hard to see the waterfall out in the lake.
No, John and I talked about that a year ago. Yeah.
That would be a nice spot to maybe.
Anything else in mind?
I'll tell you, the trail that I see the most people on when I hike, you probably wouldn't believe it, but is Urbanic. We run into more people hiking in Urbanic than any other trail I go on.
I've met some of the neighbors, and a woman walks her dog there a lot every morning. But
We see different people there all the time, it seems like.
do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What could we do there?
That's nice with
There a
the
bench up by the
benches
pond?
there on the pond, that's nice. I keep trying to throw rocks into drainage to try and get the lake to fill up again, the pond to fill up again. Every time I go there, I find a couple rocks and put them down there so it could get up to the higher level again.
Well, even a table,
That's
I mean,
nice.
you know, for instance, at Salmon River, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people that pass by that and don't even know what the heck is there. So you could make that entrance more attractive and maybe put a table further back. It would also mean keeping that knotweed down and getting the town to mow a little bit more often. But I think for us, we could plan something to do with that entrance, so as people drive by, they go, what's that?
Is there a sign by the entrance? I don't remember. Do we have a sign there or?
It faces the road, so if you're not looking for it, you won't see it. Yeah. But
Okay. Why don't we,
Is the bench on Pickerel Lake under there?
yeah, we took care of that. Yeah. I had a few things that I wanted to talk about. One is I'd love to get a parking lot on North Moodus Road and build a bog bridge or something to that nature across the wetland to Kronberg, into Kronberg, through Kronberg. And
I thought that was part of the deal with the state. I thought Jim said that there had to be an entrance there, but they needed to site it so that you didn't walk across school property. But I thought the state required some, I might be wrong, but I thought that was part of the plan, was to put a parking space.
yeah, we got state money, so it has to have access, and North Moodus Road is the access. But I made a map, or I took a picture of a map, and you can pass this around. So this is Kronberg, all right? And Jim's looking at this property. It's owned by Washington LLC, the guys out of New London, and it's all swamp. And if we could purchase this land, we could make a connection to Hidden Valley by crossing Clark Gates.
Okay.
And you could put a parking lot on that. But his thought was a parking lot down here, and we'd have to cross this area to get to, into Cromer. But yeah, we need to build a parking lot. And,
All right.
When you said this area, is that the school area? That second Jim's proposal.
At the bottom, if they
Okay.
bought,
It's this little square there?
that's,
That's where Jim,
That's North Moodus Road, yeah. That's
Um,
the end of Banner Road, you know where Banner Road is?
yes, yeah.
Anyways, so that's one thing.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of properties that we should focus on. One is, Winterbrook, the one with the shed on it. Shanigan, Acorn Drive, the open space subdivision that went in on Acorn Drive.
Have you hiked it yet?
Years ago, not recently.
I'd love to go.
And this
Take
is,
a walk with you on that.
this is Town Farms. This is another subdivision that we acquired land on.
this one is right off of Town Street, right?
Right. This is Town Street.
It's Petticoat.
We have access here.
Just
And
realized
we also have access at the end of Winterbrook subdivision. That's where the shed is.
Yeah, this is-
Did you go down with the shed to clean up?
So this is Petticoat and comes around this way, that's
Well,
that
I
sharp
mean,
corner.
you know,
Goes out towards the power. lines, yeah.
Winterbrook would fit in with, having something that a lot of people in town would come from either side, right? I mean, there's subdivision, and also if you make the entrance from Town Street inviting.
Yeah.
That would be something where, yeah, it might be some.
Yeah, but another piece of that is that Cedar Meadow, you know where Cedar Meadow Road is? It's down the hill.
Okay,
You know where Winterbrook is, right?
yeah,
Down the hill, Cedar Meadow comes in.
all right.
Cause I hike, I go there.
Kastner owns a lot down there, and if we could get access through that, we could make a connection from Cedar Brook subdivision to Winterbrook subdivision. That would,
Yeah, all I'm thinking is if you put something out of Urbanic, people who like to hike and go look, you put something in the middle of town where there's some subdivisions where somebody goes, hey, a new place to walk my dog.
yeah, that, I
It's
think
gonna
that's
get a
what
little
happened.
more
I think that's
use.
what happened with Robbie Road. I mean, we built it and they came.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And so Town Farm would be that, it's surrounded by subdivision.
You know where Town Farm is?
No. But I, cause there's, yeah, where is it? I could see what it is,
Did you look at the map?
I did, and I could see it's,
Wickham Road, before you get to Wickham,
okay,
on the other side of the road,
oh.
there's a road that goes off,
Oh, I never noticed that.
yeah, south of Mount Parnassus.
Yeah,
It's a big
yeah.
subdivision and what's the road that it connects to?
North of Mount Parnassus.
What's the road off of Tater Hill?
Oh,
Farm.
Parker Road?
Start, Oriole,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah, I
There's
never
frontage on Oriole. And across the street from that frontage on Oriole is state property.
And that would be this reserve.
No, that's just
Oh.
idle state property. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but these are things that we could consider. You know, Joe opened this conversation with focusing on the stuff we have already. There's also other stuff out there that we could focus on. And because, I mean, in the last couple of years, we've opened up quite a few properties.
We have a bond for it. We have a property to match.
Not to buy anything.
Oh,
This is all our property.
This one down off of Town
Oh.
Street.
Town Farm area is our property.
That's our land, yeah. A town land, yeah.
would
A lot
add
of
to
it is
those
satisfied.
trails in Zeleznyiki, or Zeleznyiki.
Yeah, that's right, we walked that too.
I mean, but that would be a nice place to know, that's beautiful in there.
I know, but it's another one of those remote places that nobody knows how to get
If
there.
you build it.
Okay.
So some of this, if I recall, is because if you build a subdivision, you have to set aside so much of the subdivision for
Open space subdivisions,
So
yeah,
that's, I mean, it's not like it's a donation or anything, it's a law.
yeah. Like
Okay.
Shanigan Road,
Yeah.
that would be, the power lines run right through it, but it's still, I mean, birds and.
It would be nice if that was made more, viable. I've taken my bike up there as a shortcut to get to the garden, the town, community garden.
We have a lot of access on Shanigan Road and we have access at the end of Acorn Drive.
But that road is washed out, well, Shanigan, the old Shanigan Road.
Yeah.
Is, it connects to, I think it goes up.
Petticoat Lane,
Pardon?
Petticoat Lane.
Yeah, Petticoat Lane. But it goes under the power lines, as you mentioned. It's all gravel there. But then it goes into the woods. And that would be nice if that was cleared.
Way up there.
Maybe it is.
That's Oriole.
I'm gonna suggest that no good deed goes unpunished, Bernie.
Oh boy, I have to leave.
I mean, why don't you take a look at those maps, talk to those, come up with what you would think would be a list of the top 3 things that would really bring something to the town. I mean, I think the land trust plan to go out to Gillette. People from the town are gonna see that because they're walking the track and they go, it's only a quarter of a mile out here to this platform. Oh, that's kinda cool, I'll go out there. But some of these, yeah, I mean, it'd be sitting right smack in the middle of a relatively populated area where people go, you guys do this? I wanna volunteer.
No, I think the Cedar Brook, Winterbrook, Cedar Meadow, Winterbrook connection would be primary focus for me, because I think that would.
Right.
And we'd have to drag that shed out of there, which we
Yeah.
could use the oxen.
I mean, we can talk about it over the winter meetings and
Yeah.
be ready to go in the spring with
Yeah,
plans, and if we need the ox, we can drag some stones and lumber in.
Speaking of additional lands, Cameron, about, I don't know, maybe it was a year ago or so, you were talking about some parcel over towards Devil's Hop Yard. I think it was Mitchell Road, is that? Jones Hill Road? Making sort of corridor connections between parcels.
2 answers to that, and I'm not quite sure which you're asking
Lefebvre,
about.
I think is what he's talking about.
Lefebvre, no.
On the other side
No,
of,
no, I know which, yeah.
of
So on Mitchell Road, there
Yeah.
are, we have an application, the land trust has an application in to build a trail from the blue trailhead of Devil's Hop Yard, which is on Mitchell Road, just to the west of the pond, south of Mitchell Road, down through the state's so-called hand property, and that would lead you up to the east end of Lena. So and it would, yeah. So that you could then connect through all of the trails at Devil's Hop Yard, through this hand trail,
Yeah.
into Lena, out of Lena, up through Walls Way and what will be
Yeah.
our Smith connection, and then right into Miller Farm. So that's one thing. The other thing is that there were 2 parcels on Mitchell Road which might have been, up for sale. We tried to steer the owners toward the state as a buyer, just because it wasn't adjacent to any of our land trust properties. And since then, despite pest efforts, I don't know where that's gone. But that's separate. Those are the 2 properties. I was just talking about the trailhead of the Blue Trail.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 properties to the east of that. Sorry, west of that. To the
Towards
west of
town.
that, towards town. Yeah.
That makes sense, because I remember, Bernie, when we were working in Lena a while back, there's an old road that went through there, an old farm.
It's George Babcock Road.
but it's just overgrown, or
Yeah.
there's a stone wall, and we cut some trees there once.
You walked with me on that?
Yeah, we went down there.
So
But it-
Babcock Road goes down from the Lena parking lot down and comes out on Hop Yard Road. Halfway down Babcock Road is that road you're talking about, and at 90 degrees it cuts off and goes up to Mitchell Road, and that's called George Babcock Road.
That connects to Mitch.
So that would be the kind of basic, okay, in the woods there. That would be, a holistic kind of
Connection,
connection of all the trails.
It's right now going through the various divisions of DEP, and the views on trails and whether they are a good thing or a bad thing vary significantly from one division of DEP to another. And some are very, very pro-trail, and some are not so much pro-trail, but it has to go through all of those. And I think we'll get there. We just have to be patient, and I think 3, 4, 5 years is probably
I remember
reasonable.
we had that discussion, and wood turtles came up, and something that you knew from your background in New Haven,
Oh, yeah, well, yeah,
that discussion, that's
that's the discussion.
Any more discussion from commission members? Any discussion from the public?
Bill, did you get any feedback one way or the other about Goodwin Challenge on your trails?
I did not, which I think is a good thing, because I would have heard people complaining if the trails were ripped up, but
The participants loved it. They had a great time.
I got really good feedback.
Yeah.
Mr. Beal.
Just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Ada Bahailo. I did my Eagle Scout project with you guys back in 2019.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I did the Davison property, if you guys have gone over there, Davison Memorial Walking Park. I'm done with college. I'm living at home, and I'm like, all right, well, I should probably volunteer my time. So just want to let you guys know that I'm here, hopefully as a resource. And if you guys have work parties or you need anything, I can run a saw. Labor, manpower, and I plan to be here for at least the next year or two. So
Someone who's under 60, this is great.
if you, man.
don't go anywhere.
All right, so
Get a live one.
let's do this. Next meeting is the 2nd of December, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, then we're adjourned at 8:32, and if you want to come up and put your name and email on there, I will add you to the list. Person that sent
Your name is Bahilo?
Bahilo.
Bahilo.
Yeah, you guys might know my dad,
And your
Chris.
first, yeah.
Yeah, yep, he's
Yeah,
a
I've
trash
met him a
guy.
few times.
Yeah.
I will be there tomorrow.
What's your first name?
Aiden
Aiden.
with an A.
Oh, join.
Kathy Gregory.
I gotta see.
What's that?
From Deer Hunting, next election.
Yeah, okay, great.
All right,
Sorry,
thanks.
what's your name?
Joe.
Joe, nice to meet you, Joe.
Yeah, it's shocking.
I gotta go see who.
Put you on
Yeah, please do. No,
Yeah,
thank
I'll
you
text
for
you.
the help. So, it's a good
Okay.
thing. Great to see you again.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
It was Kathy Gregory that,
Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
it's on, she's the one that sent the thing that I forwarded to you. And I think she also sent maybe.
I'll look around.
Hey, put a full tank of fuel in that tractor yet?
She did.
I haven't had to put any yet. Got 11 and a half hours.
Pretty sure she lived really close.
Yeah.
Still at 3/4.
Still got the camera going?
4 tons of stone.
Still gotta use the head. Is the camera still going?
Yes.